Seahawks going to face a desperate Commanders team for Sunday Night Football. There's a lot here to chew on as we head into this one. First, you look at the matchup itself, Bump, and start to wonder, like, okay, what are the advantages? Don't think that the Commanders team you're going to face with presumably Jaden Daniels back is the one that the Kansas City Chiefs faced on Monday night. Now, it's a short week for them, so that's an advantage for you coming off a bye. Jaden Daniels will have missed a week, so who knows if that's an advantage or not. Either well-rested or maybe a little rusty. I think the Seahawks are a better team, Bump, but I don't think that this is going to be an overwhelming blowout.
No, I think, you highlighted what the possibilities can be offensively with Jaden Daniels, but when I look at the Commanders defensively, there are some holes in this thing. Linebackers aren't the greatest in coverage, right? They've missed 65 tackles so far this year. That's second most. They've given up around 1,000 yards after the catch. That's the third most. Their passing defense is okay. When you think about the Commanders, obviously you're going to focus on the offense. You got Jaden Daniels, you got Scary Terry, you got Debo over there. So offensively, they present some challenges, but I think defensively the Hawks can get after these guys. Do I expect a blowout? No. This is the NFL. Blowouts are rare in the NFL. I think the Hawks should be favored. They will be favored, but it could be a battle.
I think it'll definitely be a battle. Now, will it be an easier battle if you get a few guys back healthy? We already know Robbie Oots could be one of those guys offensively. Julian Love, we're also waiting to see him come back. We asked Rob Staten of Seahawks Draft Blog the other day what does getting these guys back do for the Seahawks?
Julian Love's a fantastic player. I think that not having Julian Love on the field has been a big miss for the Seahawks. So getting him back, that to me is the obvious one. For the Seahawks to be at their absolute best, Julian Love needs to be on the football field. But I want to see Robbie Oots out there as well. I think we've all kind of become really attracted to this idea of having a big ex-Alabama tight end at fullback, sort of hitting two players in one block sometimes. We need to see him out there. I think the running game is only going to be at its best when Robbie Oots is out there.
Now, I think there's a lot of ingredients that need to be right for the run game. Mike McDonald talked on Monday about feeling like they're heading in the right direction. They just need to attack it more. They don't need wholesale changes. I don't want people to think getting Robbie Oots back suddenly puts a Band-Aid on the entire thing and you're going to be a phenomenal run game. Does it help you, though? I think, yes, it does. Sure. Importantly, I think Julian Love is maybe the most underrated piece to get back here, which feels silly to say. He's a defensive leader. He's a veteran. Of course, getting him back helps, but they've been able to stay afloat without him. I cannot stress how much I've been worried in some of these games in terms of the yards given up after catch.
Yeah, J Love, like I said yesterday, is the freelancer. He sees everything. He gets guys in position. He communicates on that back end, which is essential. When we talk about the box, Ernest Jones is that guy on the back end. It's J Love, and his job is to be the safety. That's the name of the position, right? You be the safety net back there. And it feels better when J Love and Kobe Bryant are playing together. It feels like Kobe plays a bit more free because he knows that his counterpart is going to have his back if something were to happen. No, I'm excited to get J Love back. I'm excited to get Spoon back, too. I mean, we've seen a bunch of guys in this backfield, defensive backfield, have their shot at it, and they've done a great job. Ty Okada has had his moments. D'Anthony Bell's had his moments. Nicky Mawari is maturing throughout the season. But we haven't seen the whole band together. It's been a while since we've seen the projected starters on the football field, yet this defense has still been able to be one of the better defenses in the league. Number one against the run, got to work against the pass. Top 5 or 6 when it comes to sacking the quarterback. We know the pressures they create without blitzing a lot. So I would assume that having Julian back and having Spoon back will allow Mike McDonald to do some things or take some risks that he wouldn't take with the twos in.
Can I ask all of us a very honest question here, including listeners? Text in with your thoughts, your answers. Text line obviously open all the time, 866-979-3776. Why aren't more people talking about the Seahawks? Are they not as interesting to a national audience? I mean, they're tied for the second best record in the NFC. It's a tight race at the top of the NFC. Multiple teams are 5-2. You have the Eagles at 6-2, but they're the only 6-win team, and then the Colts obviously with the best record in football at 7-1, but no 7-win teams in the NFC. I understand why the Seahawks aren't headlining SportsCenter every single night. I think what I'm confused about is I can't remember the last time I listened to so many NFL podcasts, and rarely do they have the Seahawks ranked as a top 5, 6, 7 team. Very rarely. And yet they'll always do this kind of you really love what you see from JSN, and the defense has been undeniable. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the Packers. And I don't blame them, but a genuine question. Why aren't more people talking about the Seahawks?
I think it's because of no one expects them to be contenders, right? And you look at the games that they've won. They've beaten a good Steelers team, right? Steelers are, I believe, are first in their division, 4-3. They're decent. You've beaten the Saints. You beat the Cardinals. You lose to the Bucks. You beat the Jags and the Texans. They don't have that signature win yet. And I think that maybe Sunday Night Football against a Commander team that has Jaden Daniels, who a lot of people had going to the conference championship, maybe that will be their signature win. If not, if after this week people aren't talking about the Seahawks the way that we think they should be talking about them, they got to wait until they play the Rams. Because after that, you got the Cardinals and the Rams coming up. So I think that's what it is. And it's also it's the personality of this team. Sam Darnold is not the flashy type of guy, not the flashy type of quarterback. He's not at one point, he was considered in the MVP conversation. Then you have a down game. Yeah. It's just the personality of the Northwest, and I honestly think it's because they haven't had that signature win yet. The run game isn't where it needs to be. Thank God for JSN. If it wasn't for JSN, then I don't think anyone would be talking about this squad. So, it might happen this Sunday night because I feel like all eyes are going to be on the Seahawks. Yep. And then when they did have a Monday night game, the offense sputtered a little bit. You know, they didn't look great against the Texans. So they're waiting on their moment. Okay. And I don't mind it. You know, they're 5-2, first year division. They don't need that love.
I like that argument, though. I actually buy that one. That's believable to me. That's a fair argument to me. They haven't had a signature win, particularly a signature win in primetime, right, where the entire country is watching this team dominate, right? I mean, the reason people are talking about the Chiefs for all kind of reasons, but oh my God, the Chiefs are back. They're winning a Super Bowl became the conversation after that Monday night game against the Commanders for a reason. Everyone was watching, and it was a dominant win despite them making mistakes. Let's see. Offseason narrative, says the 701. So maybe offseason conversations about how they're building up and, they weren't part of conversations about Super Bowl teams. So maybe that's carried over. The 206. I think the Seahawks aren't sexy, says the 206. We don't have superstars. They have a bunch of blue-collar working class dudes that just bring it every single game.
The Seahawks are, if you walk down the street right now, what are you going to see? North Face jacket, jeans, a vest. The Northwest is just a real humble type of low-key type of place, right?
Expensive product.
Yeah, that's exactly who they are because you haven't had that big run game yet, right? You haven't had that game where you're just running the rock. K9 goes for 100. You've had JSN have his moments, but it feels like you haven't had that complete game yet. And at 5-2, and I'm sitting here saying they haven't had that complete game yet, I can't wait for that to happen. So, I think that's part of being in the Northwest, too, man. Yeah, you're tucked away. You're in Seattle. It happens to the Mariners. It comes with being up here.
It didn't happen with the 2013 squad. They had a lot of personality and a lot of star power. And even after that, I mean, it's not like Russell Wilson was one of the better-known quarterbacks in the league. Date Sierra. Like, there's been star power before even being tucked away. But I agree with this listener that there's not that massive star power right now. Your quarterback isn't sitting on the, front row of a Dodgers game with Madison Beer. Your quarterback isn't at a fashion show in Paris like Joe Burrow. Your wide receiver isn't on a reality show going undercover. Fantastic episode, by the way, with Justin Jefferson. You don't have a premier edge rusher that people are constantly talking about. They're right. It's not the sexiest team right now.
No, and that's fine. That's completely fine with not being the sexy team. As long as you're winning ball games, as long as you are improving, you're 5-2, you're getting some bodies back this week in J Love and Witherspoon. We'll see what Derek Hall looks like as well. I'm completely fine with that. Low key is fine with me.
Let's see. Someone else said Northwest teams aren't generally a thought to national media. Seahawks fatigue from previous years being favorited only to lose in a season in big games is help. I don't know that there's overall Seahawks fatigue though. We've covered every single season for the last 12 years or whatever. I can tell you confidently that the Seahawks haven't been a Super Bowl favorite for the last several years.
Nah.
So I don't know that there's Seahawks fatigue.
No.
I don't think that's a thing. I think there's Chiefs fatigue, but they keep winning. I think it's Sam Darnold, and it's that you don't have a premier edge rusher. You don't have star power.
Yeah, I think
it's not a bad thing, but
here's the not disrespect, but I was listening to Stephen A. this morning, and he named the top 5 receivers in the NFL. He had Puka at 5, Jason at 4, Jamar Chase and Jefferson at 1 and 2, something like that. I forgot who the third one was.
Was it like Amon-Ra maybe?
Nah, he didn't even have him on the list.
Wow.
But that right there, Jason leads the league in yards, yet he put him at 5.
Yeah.
I understand having Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase up there. They've done it for years. You watch the film, I get it. But I think that right there is an example. And if you look at JSN, his personality, he's low key. Like, yeah, he did dunk when he scored that touchdown, but his personality is a reserved type of person, at least from what I gather of him. So no, I think you're right. I think it's because you don't have the personalities, and your leader is the most lowest key quarterback out there in Sam Darnold. I can't even tell you what his voice sounds like. If you were to put on a Sam Darnold cut right now and you didn't tell me it was Sam Darnold, I'd be like, I don't know who that is.
If you had no idea. And I was just like, oh, this right here, this is Sam Darnold. No, it's not. Joke's on you. It's Lane Kiffin. No, I think all of this is right. It's a lack of like sexy star power, big names, people who have been there before. Your quarterback isn't like this, highest paid, clearly well-known guy. And your franchise as a whole, like people are going to talk about the Cowboys, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
The Seahawks aren't one of those. Many NFL teams are not one of those teams.
Yeah. Jags ain't it.
Exactly. Like, it's just, it is what it is. No matter what you do, there are just going to be more attention paid to the Giants, the Cowboys, Packers, what have you. Doesn't matter.
No.
Are they wrong to not talk about the Seahawks? Are the Seahawks genuinely a really good team getting overlooked?
I don't think they're getting overlooked. I think they're getting the necessary attention. Like, what have they done? What have they done over the past few years?
They have the second best. Well, this year
I'm
they have
talking
the second
about
best
collectively.
record.
Like, they haven't gone to the playoffs. They haven't gone on a run. They haven't been Super Bowl contenders. You got to earn that. I get it. We're looking at things. We see them every day.
Yeah.
We see JSN. We see what this offense is doing. We crunch the numbers constantly. But until you insert yourself into the real fight like the Commanders did last year, that's why you're talking about them. It's supposed to be like that. You ain't done nothing, but you're on your way, though. And I think we kind of get offended because we see that they're on their way. We think that they're on their way. But in reality, what have they done?
I mean, I think you can say that about some other teams, though, that are getting a lot of attention and a lot of praise for what they're doing.
Like who?
I guess the Colts are off to a phenomenal start. They haven't done anything.
But they're 7-1.
Yeah.
They're 7-1.
Okay, well, what if the Seahawks have
if the Hawks were 7-1, they'd be talking about them like that.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know. Everything else I'm thinking of is like not a flagship, like a primary.
But you've lost to the Niners.
Steelers, Packers.
Lost to the Bucks.
Here's another one. Why do people still favor the Niners over the Seahawks?
Because they're the Niners. Because Shanahan. Because they've made runs over the past 5 years. They've been a good football team.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like there's a carryover. There's nothing that the Hawks have done over the past couple of years that carries over to this year that says, hey, we got to watch these guys.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that it's more that it's an interesting topic to me because I think that there are things at play that are not football reasons. Like the Seahawks, I'm not saying they're completely overlooked. Like by no means are you like a chip on your shoulder, no one believes in you. Like you're being talked about, but not as seriously as other teams where I'm like, most national outlets, I guarantee you, would rank the Rams over the Seahawks. Statistically, they're either very similar or Seattle has an edge.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense has performed better than the Rams' defense. JSN has more yards than Puka Nacua, and my fantasy football team's upset about that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that Puka isn't electric. Trust me, I need him to be. But in what way would you give like a very clear nod to the Rams? You can make a case. I don't think it's obvious though, and it's getting treated like it's obvious.
Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, Devontae Adams.
Sure.
They got the star power over there.
Okay, and the same record.
Yeah. But they got the star power. And I think Mike Macdonald, and I think Mike Macdonald prefers it this way. From what I know of Mike Macdonald, he is a blue-collar, humble, work-hard type of dude. He doesn't have the McVay charisma. He doesn't have the raspy voice. He's going to go out there and do all these commercials. If offered, he probably would do that commercial, take some coin. But I think it's just the personality of this team reflects Mike Macdonald. And I think he doesn't mind being low-key and flying under the radar because he knows that they're moving in the right direction. But, yeah, do they deserve a bit more attention? I would say probably. But I also think that they haven't done enough to warrant a lot of attention yet.